Hello, and welcome to the Root of Our Health podcast. I am your host, Elizabeth. It is such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. This episode is coming out on, of all days, Election Day. And I felt that, of course, I need to put something out there for this day because this is a very monumental, so to speak, day in the country. And when I thought about what I was going to be talking about, the first thing that came up, or the first word actually that came up, is peace. We need peace, right? Now, it's within us, and how to get back to peace. This is what I want to talk about in today's episode. So I want to first start out by saying that I was actually asked what I do to not let the animosity stewing around affect my life. And this is actually what I'm going to be talking about and discussing with you all today. I am going to be going through several ways on how you can get peace back into your life. Now, when I thought about this topic, like I said, I was like, that word came up, peace. When I thought about it, I actually did an interview with a man named Udo Erasmus, and actually he was on twice. I will link both of those up in the show notes, but he actually went into great detail, an excellent job on talking about how peace is within us and literally how we lost it along the way. So I wanted to continue on with that thought in this episode. So going forward and understanding that we are actually spiritual human beings. We were born with a blank slate, right? Right out of the womb, we were born with a blank slate as a spirit in a meat suit. Literally. Now, I know a lot of people can't grasp this. They're like, yeah, that's a little woo-woo. But just think about it, right? Yes, we are biological. There is a lot of things happening inside us, of course. But at the end of the day, and again, whatever you believe in, I believe in that when we die, so to speak, let's just lack of a better word, end this life, we are not, our souls and our spirit is either wherever it is, right? It's not, we are not our bodies. We are a spirit. So we got to understand that. But so our childhood upbringing, right? Our traumas, our experiences, our environment, our learnings, all of this shaped us, shaped our thoughts. These shaped our perspectives, shaped our values, and ultimately shaped our personality. I am saying all of this because at the end of the day, we are here to be the best human beings we can be. I feel that we are good people. We are ultimately, at the end of the day, mostly, I want to say 90% of us are good people. Now, those who are not good probably have some childhood traumas, okay? And we're not going to get into that in this episode. I'm going to keep this straight on the path right here. But again, somehow, somewhere, we got lost along the way. And in my opinion, it has a lot to do with our infatuation of groupthink. It does also have a lot to do with fear, with trusting the wrong people, and not even trusting yourself. So that is, again, where we went awry. It's not saying, okay, I trust what I know and question the status quo, whatever it is. It is, yes, I am on this train because this person said this and therefore it is right. So trust yourself. question every single thing. And yes, it may seem like you have a tinfoil hat on, whatever the case may be, question. But this podcast or this episode, I really just want to hone it in because I am terrified, regardless of who wins, of how this is going to affect our country. I want this message out there. Let's come together on this day and days going forward, and let's bring the peace that is inside of us out into the world, regardless of how we feel. Because all of this is based on feeling. It's not based on logic. None of our reactions that's going to happen November 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever that is, none of that is based on logic. It's based on emotion. So that is why I want this episode to be talked about peace, about what we can do to bring that peace out and not be in emotional state. So the first thing that we can do, and these are just many ways, these are many ways that you can do this, right? The first and foremost, and again, I'm assuming that if you're here, you're listening to this, watching this, the root of our health, alternative health and wellness, you understand that meditation and mindfulness is in this bucket, right? I talk about it a lot. And so you're understanding that it does have scientific proof of helping regardless of what you are there to meditate on. Today's meditation and mindfulness, and I'm kind of putting out there, is what we call loving kindness meditation or metta meditation. This is where you are there, obviously bringing the love into those who are close to you, family, friends. You kind of know, barista person that you see at the grocery store a lot, that you say hello. Those that you do not like, and then yourself. So those you do not like, and I don't want to say you do not like it, that's maybe not the right phrase, but those that you have a hard time getting along with, right? We want to extend the love out to no matter who that person is. Don't hate. Hate is not right in any aspect. Hate is not good. So we want to start with the mindfulness and meditation, that loving kindness meditation. Staying present, right? So staying present, it can help the mind to reduce stress, to calm, breathe. This is what we need to do. We need to breathe more, people. We can't be emotional over here. All right. So another way is simplify your life, right? It could be physically, could be mentally decluttering. And from what, today really is mental declutter. Focus on what truly matters and let go of the unnecessary obligation. This next one is kind of tie in to that second one, set boundaries. This is November, November. Learn to say no and protect your time and energy. So establishing the healthy boundaries can again reduce the stress, the unwanted, the ick. Like, I can't hang around with these toxic people. I'm saying no to things and people that are going to set me back, not so it's bringing out the ick in me, the not so nice person in me, where you can say yes to things that uplift you, that bring you to a higher being. Connect with nature is another way. We've been having, and I don't know where you're listening in the world. This is definitely not just in the U.S. So if you are listening outside of the U.S., I'm sure you're understanding what's going on in the U.S. November 5th. So, but in wherever you are in the world, in the United States, really, it's been unseasonably warm. Now, we had great weather in terms of fall, the beginning and mid of October, then turning into kind of summerish. But I'm going to put a little bit of I actually went on a mini vacation, so to speak, a 2 to 3 day. And I spent my time, and I am not used to this. I spent my time out in quiet, in nature, beautiful foliage, right? Beautiful fall colors. And literally sat by not a huge lake, but literally just sat there and stared, quiet, walked, hiked, was in nature. It was amazing. It was the peace that I have needed. And I'm sure that everybody needs. So get out there if you can. If you're in a city, make some time to kind of go into, an area that does have a forest or that does, you can hike. Get out in nature. It is ultimately going to help bring that peace out. And it's going to ground you. It's going to restore you. And it's just going to be what you actually need at this time. Cultivating gratitude is another way. When you are grateful for what you have, how can you be angry, right? When you are grateful for what you have, you get more of it. When you are grateful for what we have in this country, instead of saying, oh my gosh, looking at the other side and being like, this person, so and so. But if you're grateful for again, whatever we have in this country that you're grateful for, just list it out. Keep a gratitude journal. Remind yourself of the positive aspects of not only your life, but really, ultimately, what we have here in the country. Because it is not all doom and gloom. It is not all wrong, right, this and that. So look at it from another perspective. Look at what we have. And then, basically it could help you, obviously, just, be on the positive side. Surround yourself with supportive people. This is ultimately the most important part. No, I shouldn't say most important. They're all very, very important. But we got to understand positive people. There are so much negativity going around here. If you have a negative Nelly next to you, leave. Leave. I don't care if it's your best friend. Say adios. I can't do this right now. You're bringing me down. Okay? You can still be friends, but at this time, at this moment, ciao. Can't. So surround yourself with supportive people. Positive social connections can enhance your sense of peace. Okay? So I'm not saying like things like. There are those that are out there, and I'll get to this in just a second, but there are those out there that are okay. I have friends that are not on the same side, so to speak, as me. But we get along. We love each other as friends. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So surround yourself with supportive people. We support each other. Regardless, again, we are human beings. We are spiritual beings. You're not what is out in the world, okay? Engage in hobbies. Please, 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 please engage in those hobbies. Get off of social media. Go out there, have fun. Movement and exercise has been shown to increase endorphins. You want the endorphins. You want the feel-good stuff. Don't numb out. Don't drink. Okay? Don't drink. Don't, do activities that bring you down. These things, you want to engage in hobbies and activity that you love. Gravitate towards that. It's can provide a creative outlet. Again, relieve stress. That's what we're here for. Practice self-care. Okay, we talk about this a lot. And I actually see that self-care has actually been destigmatized a lot, still out there being like, well, I don't have time. I get it. Sometimes I need to open up my schedule a little bit more than I've been doing for self-care. But I understand that it is important to take care of yourself. So prioritize your physical and your emotional well-being. Exercise, again, eat well, get enough sleep. Hopefully what's going on in the world is not affecting your sleep. Because if it is, we gotta, yes, those other, these tips actually can help. So we gotta prioritize you first. Limit news consumption. And this is another way that we can, get better sleep, right? And practice self-care. Limit the news consumption at all. Now, you can set specific times to check news and updates, kind of here and there, blips here and there. But if you wake up and first thing in the morning, you turn on the news, if you go to sleep and last thing before you go to bed is the news, and you have news on incessantly throughout the day, what do you think is happening to your brain? The news is not giving you all the positive things. It is feeding you all the not only negative things, but all the violent things, all of the, mostly, I'm not going to say all of it, but it is feeding you things that have either an agenda or that is misinformation or that is just feeding you narratives to get you to watch it, to get you to be on that loop, to feed you. It's toxic. Just like you feeding yourself, the ultra processed foods, watching the news is ultra processed. So it's toxic. It's getting you all ick inside. It's getting you, stressed out. And even metabolically, you're going to be affected by watching all of this. So limit or remove it. Now, I personally, again, do not watch at all any news stations. I don't even hardly watch any TV. Hardly. Very, very seldom. I listen to podcasts, and I listen to podcasts that are not just one think, ask questions, learn, educate. But obviously I listen to podcasts that are part of my values too. So we'll get to that in just a moment. And when you do watch news, try to avoid constant exposure to political content. This can be overwhelming, right? It can contribute to stress and anxiety. So you're hearing things and you're hearing this and you're hearing that and you're like, you're getting angry already. First thing in the morning, you want to just you're angry. And then what do? You take that throughout your day. You show up that way, that negativity. Again, the energy that you put out in the world, you get back. Think about that. You had this negative energy loop because you're watching this news and you're consuming all of this negative, biased information. What do you think is going to happen? The other thing that you could do to obviously bring peace, because we have peace inside of us. The other thing is to engage thoughtfully. I'm going to bring this up. I actually posted something on Facebook, and this was not, so of course everybody knows the root of our health, right? I am a health coach. My values are health and well-being in this world. I want this country to be healthy. Okay, and I've I've had this podcast before, episode before, talking about how our food system, all of the things are making us not healthy, right? So my whole thing, my understanding is I want to back somebody who is for health for this country. And yes, that was and that is RFK Jr., right? Make America Healthy Again. Yes. I posted something on Facebook just about the Make America Healthy Again. I got unfriended by somebody who I thought, I'm a lot of, Facebook friends, we're not friends. Facebook friends, quote unquote, loosely friends. There's a lot of them on there I'm not friends with. But this one person, unfortunately, hung out before, and it crushed me. So I reached out to this person. I'm like, what's going on? Why unfriend me? Because I don't do this. I don't push it out there. That was probably a handful, maybe up to 5 posts that I've posted about anything political, anything. And again, it's according to the health of this country, staying in my lane in terms of the health. And this is what I believe in, right? All of us believe in something. We have these values. And I was crushed. I was like, how? Why? I don't go to other people's page. I don't see things and unfriend people and block them and all of this thing. The only time I do, if anything, is if somebody goes on my page once, attacks me, and then never, participates in any of my other posts. That's the only time I unfriend and block people. But I don't do that. It's a matter of let's listen to each other. Let's have the discussion. Share your values. Avoid the heated back and forth. We can respect each other. We have the different opinions. If we all had one opinion, you know how boring this country would be? And attacking another person for believing in what they feel is right, or or unfriending somebody that whatever the case may be, we're friends again. So in any case, the fact is we lost the debate. We lost the ability to say, thank you for, your opinion, or thank you for sharing that. I understand where you're coming from, or thank you for that. I don't see it that way. I don't understand it. Here is what I think. But, hey, we can get along. Let's get along. But no, we're in this like, we're going to, and it's just icky. I feel so gross, being out here and listening to this. Sure, we get fired up when, other people are like, oh, I'm going to vote for this person. I'm going to vote for this person. And you're like, why? We don't understand the reason. And the logic reason, not the emotional reason. Okay. Anyway, I'm moving on. So the gist of that is respect different opinions. They're all opinions, right? This next one, focus on what you can control. So concentrate on actions that you can take, like you can vote, right? Engage in community initiatives. How do you want your community to be in your values or reflect your values, rather than worrying and berating about the outcome? So what can you control in your life? How can you make that action instead of pointing fingers or berating or shouting or whatever it is? Okay. Practice self-care again, make activities or do things that you love, reading, spending time with loved ones, creating a supportive environment. Again, going back to surround yourself. We need that support system, positive influences. Stay informed, not overwhelmed. And this also goes to the news time. Choose reliable sources of information, reliable, fact-based, and who knows what that is nowadays, because that's few and far between here. So avoid sensationalist media. I'm not going to name them. But just avoid it. Fact-based. Okay? Independent journalism, I think, is the way we need to go. Independent journalists. Those who really want the answers, who don't care about the, agenda, what's going on. Follow them. Give them props. Let's hear and let's have that discussion and that debate. Ask questions. Engage in the community. Again, how can you make your community? It starts with you. Focus on local issues. Bring that up to your state then. So it starts community, state, then country. Getting involved in your community can definitely foster a sense of purpose. Purpose is, just basically helping you avoid that stress. Take breaks. Step away from the political discussion, like I said. Social media, if somebody is talking about politics, getting heated, all of this stuff, and you're bringing in like your logic reasoning, and things are kind of not going that route, walk away. It's okay. You don't have to not be friends. Just walk away. Again, with social media, I have taken a break on Facebook. I've only posted and ghosted, so to speak, because I'm still there for content and actually some funny things. I like comedy, humor, and I post some humorous things. Keep it light. Last is reflecting on your values. So this is all based on your values. Remind yourself of your core beliefs and values. So this can help you stay centered amidst the external noise. Okay? So we need to stay centered. We need to be focused on our values, but we can also understand what other people's values are too. Our values aren't always the right one. They're right for us. But let's hear what other people has to say logically. All right. So that is it. Again, I really hope that this has helped you kind of understand that there are ways. We have peace inside us. We are not monsters. We are not, no, none of us, not even the politicians, are monsters. They are human beings as well. It's just some people have gone, a different direction. And we got to understand them as a human being. So let's just come together this day, these few days, these weeks, and understand that it is going to be okay. We are not going to die. Our lives may affect some things in our lives, but we have gone through so many different politicians in our lives, right? Some good, some not so great. But again, this is how we show up is what dictates our life. So let's understand that and let's keep that going. All right. I thank you. If you can, please subscribe anywhere you're listening to. Share this around. Spread the love, whatever you can do. Peace out. Thank you.